Today I'm going to talk about how to value your sports cards, as this is a super important topic and something that everyone should get a grasp of and get a hold of if you're trying to sell in any way, online, in person, through eBay, through Facebook Marketplace, through any medium that is available for you to sell your sports cards. You should understand the value of your sports cards. What prodded me to make this video is, been setting up at shows, at sports card shows, in-person shows of recent, well, for quite a while now. And it's come to my attention that not only do a lot of newer people in the hobby struggle with this to try to find the value of their cards. Not only that, there's honestly a lot of dealers that set up at shows that do not know how to price their cards. So we're going to take a few minutes here. I want to make a video. It's okay that you don't know how to price cards if you don't know how to, or maybe someone will get some insights from this and be like, okay, wow, that's the reason. Maybe the reason I haven't been selling any cards is because I'm really not pricing them right. They're way overpriced. If you're selling lots of cards, you're probably underpricing them. Might not be a bad thing if you got a big collection that you want to move, but it's something everyone should grab a hold of. So let's take a look at something to consider here is listed prices, suggested prices. What listed prices are when you go on eBay or Facebook Marketplace and you see cards, you see what they're listed at, like what it says, you can buy this now at $100. You can buy this now at whatever price it may be. That is a price that someone who is selling has set. In most cases, if it's buy it now, there'll be the ability to make an offer, and it is from that point a negotiation to get to an actual price. So it's just a listed price. It's not market price. If someone prices it right and they actually price it under what market is or right at market, many times stuff will sell pretty quick. But if it is being listed really high over what market is, it's not going to sell. And then you got the other method of pricing collectibles, and in our case here, sports cards, which I'm calling suggested prices, which is the old school mentality where you would look at a Beckett price guide for value or other online. There are other, not only Beckett, but there's some other online price guides, and these are very inaccurate, and they carry very little weight, and they carry very little value in the modern hobby. These are simply a company suggestion based on recent performances of a player or market conditions. See, even here with pricing guides, they're also to some degree looking at market trends to set a price on sports cards. Price guides can be outdated before they ever hit the press and get into your hands. You could get a price guide and it's outdated, and they're supposedly 30-day price guides. So within 30 days, the market can change quite a bit, up or down. Does not give you actual market price. So let me bring some clarity to all this. Look at it this way. Would you buy a stock, ETF, or index, or crypto for that matter, a cryptocurrency, at the price that some random person sets or tells you that it's worth 30 days ago? You would not. So here on the screen, you can see here's Apple price. So this is a month chart for Apple. At the beginning of this month, Apple was being priced at around this is like maybe 153. So if you bought it because some random person said that, or some random company said Apple was worth 153, you had all this opportunity during a 30-day span to buy Apple down here at 140, between 140 and 145. But if you're basing it on what someone else says, another company telling you what the price is for 30 days, you would be buying at the peak rather than at the lows. What's Apple worth on October 3rd? Whatever someone's willing to pay on October 3rd. What's Apple worth October 18th? Whatever someone's willing to pay on October 18th. So this is why the market sets the price, not a company and not a person or not some ink in a magazine from 30 days ago. So there's listed prices and suggested prices, and then there's actually sold prices, which actually is the current real-time market price. What something actually sold for recently or in the past, the most recent you can find, not what someone is trying to sell it for, gives you real-time actual market price. Like all market stocks, cryptos, etc., cryptocurrencies, etc., sometimes actual market price, just like we were looking back at Apple, can be beneficial to sellers, and sometimes it can be beneficial to buyers. Bull markets, bear markets. We've all heard that. And that's simply times when the markets are hot is a bull market. Times when the markets are cold, that's a bear market. So this is why you can see listed items on eBay, Facebook Marketplace that will never sell because they're so far out of whack in terms of actual market price. They're way overpriced. They'll just sit there. Maybe they even listed it on eBay and forgot about it, and it's just sitting there, but it will never sell because it's overpriced. So how do you find actual current market prices of collectibles? Let's do a couple case studies, and I will actually go through the process and show you how to actually get current market prices. The first case study, number one, is, and the reason I selected these two cards is because I deal with people a lot when I'm buying collections or buying cards from people or looking in dealers' cases. And I think this is probably one of the most iconic cards, kind of modern cards, the King Griffey Jr. Upper Deck Rookie, that is not rare at all. Everyone has this card. This is why you see them everywhere. So this is a very common card. It's very, these are mass produced, mass printed, but it just was a very iconic card when it came out, and it has stayed iconic to this day. And just real quick, a quick eBay and Marketplace search produces some mixed results of listings, not sold items. Again, this is, and stuff like this on eBay, this is sort of a sponsored section of eBay where it says these items are eligible for the eBay vault. Well, if you look back, this card is not graded. So this is not in a graded card case. This is a raw card. These are graded cards, and it says these are eligible for the eBay vault, but these are graded cards. So there's a separation that has to be separated. The prices of a raw card versus the prices of a graded card are two totally different separate entities, which we'll get into here in a minute. And here's the search results on Facebook, just to kind of hit home my point. You can see here's a King Griffey Jr. rookie card. Someone listed at $500. It's raw, and then right beside it is a PSA 9 for $250. So here's that Facebook search on Facebook Marketplace search of King Griffey, and I just wanted to show you this because this individual listed it. It says it's in a sleeve. It's 1989 King Griffey Jr. rookie number 1. No autograph, no bends or scratches. But if you look at the included screenshots they're posting here, it says King Griffey Jr. typically sells around $594, and show some other Google screenshots of graded King Griffey Jr.'s. So this card that they're listing is not graded, so it would not be these prices. So that's key number one that you need to key in on. If it's raw, it will sell for what it sells. It will be priced current market price at what it sells for raw. If it's graded, it will be priced at the grade it gets after being graded. So here we go. Again, on eBay, I searched for this King Griffey Jr. and it gets a little bit more realistic here on eBay because some people get the concept, and you can see someone has one listed here for $35. Someone has one listed here for $59.99. Someone has some graded in like a knockoff grading company, not one of the big main ones that everyone knows. So these are very deceiving as well. I personally wouldn't purchase anything if it wasn't in a PSA, BGS, SGC, or CSG holder graded by those companies. All these other companies, many times, they're not trustworthy. So, but you can see, definitely more reasonable. But here's one that is on auction, not buy it now, and there's 4 hours left, and it's at $37. So here's how you can find the actual value of a 1989 Upper Deck King Griffey Jr. And I would say I personally have began to lean more towards just using eBay to do this. There's multiple ways to find this info on eBay, so I'll show you. The main one that they're really using a lot now for cards with lots of volume, where in other words where there's lots of sales of it, you'll see this show up. It used to only show up on the app, but now it also shows up on the web. So I'm on the web right now, and the price guide is available. So you just click on this, and it'll show you 1989 Upper Deck King Griffey Jr. And you scroll down, and it's in order. So here we see one that is graded in a PSA 9 on October 25th, sold for $197. So in grade 9 by PSA, most recent comp or most recent market price that was set was 197. Here's one in the PSA 6, a much lower grade, sold for 57. And here's one raw. So if you have a raw card, one that's not graded, you would look at all of the ones that aren't graded and make it a comparable market price. So you can see this one sold for $46, not graded. But here again, a PSA 9, again, pretty comparable. 190, 197. Here's a SGC 9.5. It sold because it's a little bit higher grade than the PSA 9. It sold for 300. In a non-grade or 9.5 in the case of the SGC, very solid grade. It's actually staying pretty consistent if you look at it over the course of time. So that's one way to find it. If I go back, another way to also find this info is to click that advanced button top right. If you missed that, it's right here. Click advanced beside search. You check this checkbox, sold listings, and then click search again. It's basically what was in the price guide, but sometimes some of these are marked out, right? So that's why I prefer to use the price guide now that it's becoming more prominent and eBay's putting it out a lot more. So these ones that are scratched through, it was listed for $64.99, but someone made an offer lower than $64.99 and it was accepted. So, but this is another way, and you can see, so a lot of these are scratched out. This is why the price guide is actually a better option here. You see, clicking this, it will show you what it was accepted, the accepted prices. The absolute best way, in my opinion, is to use, this is in my seller hub here, and if you click research, and then we search on the 89 Upper Deck King Griffey Jr. You'll get the last 365, and what you want to do here is this. Let me refine this a little bit. King Griffey Jr. card number 1. Here we go. And then you want to look, click on date last sold. Here we go. So now, basically, what you're seeing in that price guide is all here, and there's a lot more data that becomes available. And you can see that one PSA 10 that was scratched out sold for $17.50. So all the prices. There's other apps and sites that will actually use this data, but they're actually pulling it from this research. So there's other apps that you can pay a subscription for: Market Movers, Card Ladder, Card Hedger. There's several of them, but they're essentially using the API that eBay provides for you right here. So if you have access to the web, this isn't on mobile on the app. This is only in the web. So when I'm setting up for a card show or I'm researching cards and I'm at home, this is the most optimal way of doing it. So you can see all the data is available here, and this will give us more of those raw card sales that we were talking about. That one sold for $59, that's raw. This one sold for $46, that's raw. Let's see, there's another raw sale, $52. Another raw sale, $50. So you can see it's around $50 is what this card sells for raw, non-graded. So on Facebook Marketplace here, this $500 King Griffey Jr. will never, ever, ever sell. So unfortunately, this card will sit here unless there's a sucker who just doesn't know who buys it. Otherwise, this card will never, ever sell. You know, and then you can actually refine it if you wanted to see what it sold for only in PSA 9s. You can research it that way. All right, so next up, we're going to take a look at this 1990-91 Fleer Michael Jordan, because this one comes up time and time again when I see people's collections. And this particular card has some high graded card sales, but raw, this is a very, very inexpensive card. Again, a very common card. But like I said, someone newer to the hobby and or dealers who don't understand how to price cards would try to price this card very high, and it will never sell, because unless, again, it was a sucker that bought it or someone who just doesn't understand how to price cards. So let's take a look at this one. Let's search for it on Facebook and eBay, and then we'll come up with what the market value of it is, raw and graded. So you can see over on Facebook Marketplace, I entered 1991 Fleer Michael Jordan. The number is 26. And you can see all these listings come up of it very, very overpriced. It's not worth this much. But there you go. So people are trying to sell it between 30 and 40. Sometimes you'll find these and people will have them raw and they'll try to sell them for, again, $200, $300. So that's a Facebook search. Let's look at eBay. Here we go. We enter it on eBay in a search. You can see it's just getting more realistic. It typically gets more realistic on eBay. So $8, $5, and then even graded. Even in a 9, someone's selling it for $33. So again, the people that were over on Facebook trying to sell it for $20 and $30, even in a 9, you can pick this card up for around that price. Someone spent money to grade it, maybe $8 to $20 to grade it, and the time it took to grade it, and they're still only selling it for $33. Here's one that's being bidded on. This is a PSA 10. It's got 6 days left. Here's a raw one, not graded. It's 6 hours left. It's only at $2. So again, same process. You can click the value guide. You can see estimated market values. This sums up everything, graded and non-graded together. But here you go. All of these are graded. You can see at 8 sold for 19. 19. Here's a raw. This is 2 cards, number 26 and number 5 sticker, sold for $550. So this card's not very valuable at all. We'll put it in our research tab here, enter it, and here you go. We can get a much better picture of it. Raw prices. It's not very much. So here, someone bought 10 of them for $50, $5 a piece. Here's a lot of 10 of them for $35. So even cheaper, $3.50 a piece. Raw, $6.25. Someone overpaid for this one at $15.94. The reason this one in a PSA 10 sells for a lot more is because it's an iconic Jordan photo, and these are known to be just very, very off-centered cards. So what you can see, $7, $6.50. So this is a $5 to $7 card raw, and if you do a PSA 9, you get the idea here. Sells $27, $30, $22, $29. There you go. So it's pretty much a $25 to $30 card in a 9. And then why people think it's very valuable that are novices and don't know how to price cards. As you can see here in a PSA 10, it sells for, someone bought way overpaid for that one, $5.25. $2 to $2.50 is really, it's what it should be current market price. So that gives you an idea. That is how you find out current market value, just by searching on it and seeing what someone is trying to sell it for. Again, reiterate, that does not give you the price. These are the ways you can figure this out. And again, there are apps, like I said, Card Ladder, Market Movers, Card Hedger, Colex. There's a few of them out there that you can also use. And a lot of those have some free services where you can just quickly search. There's Alt that you can scan graded cards, get values. And you can also, and those pull data from eBay and other platforms and shows you actual sold prices. That's how you get it done. That's how much your cards are worth. It is what someone is willing to pay. That's it. It's that simple. Hope you guys are enjoying this kind of content. If you are, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell to get notified when new videos come out. That's all I got till next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Deuces.